Okay, I think we're live. Everybody in the live stream. 5 for 5.
All right, we're good.
I think we are good.
All right.
Okay, yep. 5 for 5, everybody. Yep. I was talking with Julianne earlier today. She's like, God, everybody's asking me, when are they getting back on together? I said,
Oh,
I said,
did
yeah,
you do a reading? A
yeah,
reading,
yeah, a
reading
little
with
earlier today.
Julianne?
Yep. Like,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be 10, and she's like, I text Richard. I told him Joe didn't respond. And she goes, then I looked at my phone. I realized you did respond for 10 a.m. She goes, but I didn't know it. So can we do 12? I go, yeah, that's fine. I got nothing all day. So
Ah,
we did that. And then me and my daughter Emily, she needs some shoes. I took her shoe shopping and
yeah.
grabbed a bite to eat and came back home. So
Hey, before we go crazy, I'd like to say something to everybody who's going to be watching this YouTube and the people that'll pop in tomorrow or the next day. Listen, all of you out there, okay, subscribe to this channel. All right. Remember, Joe was well over 100,000 people. And because of the news he was giving you, he lost his channel twice. All right. So let's try to get him back over 100,000 because I'm telling you right now, over these next couple months, we're going to be doing a lot of news. Okay. We're going to be going through a lot of stuff. So please just take a moment and subscribe. Let's get Joe back over 100,000 where he belongs until, they abused him and took it away from him.
yeah, or till I do it
Remember
again.
those beautiful days, Joe?
I'm like, man, all those videos I had going back to, I don't even know how
It's
far back, 2009, 10, when I started. But
you earned every one of them, and
yeah,
in snap of a finger, they destroy you. And I'm just saying for anybody, and a lot of people will come on tomorrow out of Europe or whatever. Please subscribe, and let's see if we can get Joe back into the numbers where he truly belongs, because I think he's going to be showing his face a lot more. Okay,
probably a
what?
good
Read,
chance of
read my
that.
lips. A lot more.
Gonna be plenty to talk about.
Oh, holy
Current
moly.
viewers 888 as of right now and climbing.
888,
Triple
huh?
eights.
All right. All right. Where we gonna go, my friend? There's some
Jeez.
serious shit happening here.
Had a big earthquake. Was it Tonga or somewhere over there? Big earthquake over there. Again, this
Okay.
whole crossing of the planets things. I mean,
Oh, really? Is it popping up finally? At
sheesh.
least your subscribers from way back know all about what's happening. But the interesting thing, and he's probably listening right now, is a gentleman that I read last week, and he's connected with the consulate in Germany and with the big players, this and that. And when I read people around the world, okay, I look around. How I do it, I don't know, but I can. I can just look around. And and I gave him a warning. I said, they're gonna try to hide it from us, but you're gonna see all the media is coming now, and the earthquakes are going to really take off. So later that day, a big earthquake hit. Another one just hits again. All right. Because of a warning I gave about Italy and stuff like that. But I want to come right out and say, because he said to me that, you, you, you know, we spend a lot of time on the United States. Okay. When we have interviews and stuff, which is understandable. All right. But he really wanted me to go a little deeper into Europe because a lot of things I said to him have been pretty much validated.
Mhm.
Oh, so for all you people in Europe, this is something that I saw. And again, because I'm very blessed and able to read people around the world, I get to view things that normally I wouldn't be able to view. Okay. Because there's no way I can just take on everything. I just can't do it. All right. But when I target a person, I can see what's happening or what's going on in the future. So I want to give a big heads up um, to a lot of Europe right now is while I was reading him and he wanted me to look around, is this is what I saw. Now, please, okay, uh, there's many ways to interpret what I saw. It's no different than if a remote viewer is sketching down what they see. Okay. Um, it could have other meanings. So I'm going to leave a lot of this stuff wide open because the reason I'm starting off with Europe, because it's coming here. Okay. And this goes way back and all those lost YouTubes we had where I said it would start in Europe and would come across the Atlantic. Okay. So this is what I saw, and I believe this is sooner than later. I timing's a bitch sometimes. Actually, it is all the time.
Yeah.
I yeah, but I believe it's between now and summertime, so maybe 90 days, but as soon as possibility as 30 days, okay, as 60 days. And I'm gonna say one reason is for, and I think I told you, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Spirit kept on coming to me and kept on saying the words Mayday, 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 Mayday. It's kind of like a warning. I'm going, huh, okay. So when I was looking around in Europe, and two of the countries that were involved in this, um, me looking at it, was Germany and France. Okay. But I felt that it spilled over into a lot of area. So what I saw were a lot of people running around. They were very aggravated, very aggressive. Um, they seemed very, very upset. I saw them trying to bust open banks. Um, I felt the words that were coming to me was total capital control. All right. And I really believe that's a lot sooner than later. So as I'm giving this out, I want you throughout Europe, think about what I'm saying and try to hedge yourself on this. Okay. Now, the other thing that I noticed, which was kind of eerie, and I'm just going to leave it open for interpretation because I'm not sure what was doing this. I looked at many people and crowds of people, and they had this horror look at their faces, like they were really scared. Um, they were all running, but looking over their shoulder and looking up. They were looking up. All right. I couldn't see what was up there, what they were staring at. So let your mind go into this. All right. Now, to add on to another things, and I think I brought this to you about 4 weeks ago. I think I might have said something to you, Joe. And I kept getting NATO mistake, NATO mistake. All right. So I really believe that that you guys on the verge of something really, really bad here. Okay. And I think this probably has something to do with the vision with the Russian bear standing up. And he seemed really, really pissed off. And he had three missiles in his mouth. All right. So I have a funny feeling it's connected to that. It seems as I looked into it, what I saw were, I'm not going to say names, okay? Um, seemed like political type people in even the countries I just mentioned are willing to go to war because they have nothing else to lose. That so many mistakes have been made financially that they feel that if they can beat Russia or go to war with them, and again, I could be 100% wrong, so I don't think I am. That two things happened. Number one, number one is that you go to war with somebody, you cancel your debts. Okay. Number two is as soon as this starts to happen, um, they figure that it's a win-win. So even if they lose and lose a lot of their population, there's a few politicians that are out there that have done a lot of very, very disgusting things that people are finding out. And this is coming out. So, in other words, everybody watch this hand while I'm going to go do this. Okay. Now, the other thing is, I read three people, which was pretty strange. All three people were out of Sweden. And I looked around and we've heard a lot of things on the internet saying that a lot of high politicians here or people, the muckety mucks, are opening up accounts in the Swiss banks right now to move money. So I went in and looked, and I was shocked at what I saw. That's not what I saw. What I saw in Switzerland were storage facilities behind bars, but they were empty. And I kept getting, they're moving the gold out of Switzerland and they're moving it into the United States and they're moving it into another small country. I can't remember the name of the country, but it was a small one. All right. Now, a lot of people have said, well, there's a lot of gold coming over here. Okay. That's because of the terrorists. No, it's because of war. Okay. And the minute that it starts, so will capital controls. So I want all you wonderful people in Europe, and there's so many that I talk to have a plan A and plan B for this strangeness. Okay. Um, we're all here in the United States are about to go through some incredible things over the next even 90 days. Okay. But I remember the dream you had in April last year. And then I had my reading with a woman in India. I
Tulips.
said, when the tulips begin to blossom. Now, a lot of people said to me, hey, well, it came true. The market dropped. And I said to you, Joe, I said, no, that's not it. It's not it. All right. I really believe what's happening is this April. And I believe maybe it's the end of April into May, but we're here, okay, for some really crazy, sketchy financial things. So some of you people, if you have the ability to personally get ahead on your mortgages, even by a couple months, if you can, okay, try to do that just to buy yourself some time. So this craziness, I don't think the craziness will last too long, but I think it can be very disruptive in many aspects. But I believe Joe's dream and the reading I had in India is for this springtime. So we're about to have some really crazy things going on. All right. Now, if NATO makes this rational decision and does something very silly, which I believe they're going to, only because the other visions were so strong, then understand there's going to be a shaking everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. So now I think everybody knows about all the stealth bombers all going out to their island out there and preparing for something. Okay. So I really believe that we're hitting something where everything all comes together at the same time. I like to describe it as spokes in a wheel, is that the outer part of the wheel, all the spokes go from the center outward. And when something happens on the outside, we're here, we're not really being bothered yet. but each spoke that snaps affects the wheel itself, and everyone goes to the center. All right. So we're all going to feel this together, and we got to be really wise. Now, I also believe that, and I think the last time we were together, I said that Spirit had given me that as the temperatures begin to warm, so would the violence in the United States. Okay. So spring going forward. We're here now. So a lot of you, and especially you, Joe, I want you to stay safe. Okay. Um, people are I people are going to get attacked that are driving Teslas. I'm telling you right now. You'll be driving out of the blue. You're going to be a bunch of people, crazy people, going to pull you over, and they're going to harm you. All right, we're going to see this. We're going to see violence throughout the cities that we all talked about in the sleeping cells. This is when Trump uncovered, or should I say Elon and all of them uncovered that this endless money stream was going out. So understand all the demonstrators and the people that are going very aggressive, okay, in America. And it's, I'm telling you, by the week, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. That a lot of them were being paid by this.
Hmm.
All right. So they're going to become, and you just took the money out of their mouths, and they only have so much left that they can do this. So I really believe we're about to see some incredible damage throughout our cities, and patriots and people really getting harmed. All right. And I know a lot of us right now want to say, well, F them. I'm going to drive my Tesla. And by right, you should. But because of what I saw, I just, there's only so much you can do. And right now is not the time to get caught up in this. It's too early in the game. All right. I know that if we make it through these humps, everybody will come out of the other side. I'm and I've said it the last month and a half. I'm still really optimistic. And I know there's going to be an intervention from a higher hand. I know there is. How that's going to take place, I don't understand, but that's okay. But this is something we have to go through here, and the whole financial system is going to change. It has no choice. It has no choice here. Okay, and we all talked about this through many interviews, right, Joe? Back and forth about the different visions and your dreams, my
Yep.
visions, and here we are. Now this is going to be very rapid. Okay, dominoes really dropping quickly here. And all of you have got to be really smart out there. The object is don't get caught up in off guard. All right. So try to be very smart. We're all going to get affected in a different way depending on where we live. Hands down, bottom line. All right. Not too many Teslas drive around up here in the backwoods because you just can't.
There's quite a bit of them
Maybe
here
if
in
you had a
Florida.
truck. Yeah. But the thing is when you're getting into a higher concentration, or you're in those states that there's so much lawlessness that have gone on and abuse of the situation here in America, that I don't want any of you to get caught up. Okay. All of you right now really need your head on a swivel. You really do, no matter where you go, what you're doing, because you can get these crowds that could just show up instantaneously, and now you're in the middle of it. Please pay attention going forward now.
Hmm.
Okay, we're we're entering the danger zone here. Okay, going forward here. Now, a lot of us have been waiting for the cryptos, and the thing is, I said we're going to be in an up and down pattern. So that's exactly what we are. All right, because there's some great changes that are about to happen. Um, and and believe you me, we're going to have a hell of a run here. And if you noticed, that a lot of people have been waiting for the audit, okay, at Fort Knox. All
Yeah, it's
right.
like what happened with that? All that noise and now nothing.
But because they can't do it yet. See, he has a plan. I believe he does. Okay. Is that that's the last thing to do? See, right now, he's sailing a ship that has all these holes in it. So no matter how much money you put in, it doesn't matter. It's going to go up the holes. And then when you have a lot of people that look like they're bailing water and helping you, but actually they got a hole in the bucket, they're doing absolutely nothing. He's got to take care of this, okay, to then set it up for everything else. Now, I also believe the reason that you haven't seen a couple people arrested, it's going to happen. But the thing is we've got to get all these other things in place first, okay? And that's what he's trying to do as quickly as possible. And I do believe that he understands that some of the oligarchs in Europe they're trying to force Trump and America to get into this war. And Trump doesn't want anything to do with it because he knows that all of Europe is failing. It is. Okay. Listen, the financial system of the whole world is failing. Okay. And some are going to go quicker than others. So they're going to force this and they're trying to pull us in with NATO. And in my heart of hearts, I believe right before this thing happens, I believe there'll be a pullback of the United States out of NATO. I really do believe it. And what I believe is happening with a lot of the tariffs, it's really simple. You know, everybody said, well, he's crazy doing this. Well, realistically, he's only putting tariffs on countries that have put tariffs on us. It's called fair trade. But at the same time, we have an ocean that separates us. And I really believe Mr. Trump, President Trump, is creating a moat, like a castle, a moat around the castle to try to separate us as much as possibly and get us in position before everything falls down and this new system comes out. So it's all about the timing situation. All right. And I mean, we're like right on this edge. We really are. Now, with what I've said so far, and there's more goodies, what do you have to say about what I just came out and said, Joe? With what you're getting and you're seeing, you're a freaking news hound.
Yeah.
You know, you're silent but deadly. Okay.
I have something else that's silent but deadly. My wife can attest to that sometimes at night.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh, you have phototosis, do you?
It's actually been a long time, to tell you the truth. I've actually done quite well for a long time. My diet's changing a little bit for the better. No, but I mean, I've had the dreams. I've battles, I'm the ship getting attacked. I haven't seen that happen yet. Like, kind of war kind of things, and still the flooding in New York and the East Coast, whatever the hell that is. And then you mentioned the capital controls reminded me of the dream that I had where I was at the bank trying to get money out. How much do you need? Can I get 10 grand? He's like, "Pff, I can give you $50. That's all? Yeah, like 50 a day. Well, I don't even want it. Just keep it. And I was busy in the safety deposit box room breaking open stuff, stealing gold and silver that I can get my hands on. And those balloons popped with the money in them, and then the money was not even there. It was an illusion. So again, it's like all this stuff. It reminds me of what Cliff High said recently. And he says, I've got this data coming in, like this Doge thing, when it starts to get to the Treasury and Federal Reserve, there's going to be 100 times to possibly 1,000 times more money created than we're aware of, or that was actually logged. It's going to cause the dollar to just bye bye.
Yeah.
And again, I think of that picture of Dick Algar, the Congress building, and they're out of power, and all that stuff maybe happening around the same time. But I mean, That's going to be the key. And you know, and again, my other dream, which wasn't that long ago, I'm sitting there holding a brand new $50 bill in my hand, and I just remember seeing this square within a square of these fine like little micro dots, like a security feature in the middle, and it was a $50 bill. It kind of looked American, but it was different. And I remember just telling myself, why can't I see the words United States of America on this? Is it small in a corner? I couldn't see it. It made me wonder why I couldn't see it. Because I felt like it was our currency. And then it dawned on me, it's like I'm frozen. Are you still with me?
Hey, Joe, you froze. I hear your voice really good. I think
Yeah.
everybody else does, but you're frozen.
Still hear me?
I hear you great.
Let's see if it comes back. Okay.
There you go. Your lips are moving. You're good.
All right. So, the $50 bill. And it's like, well, whose is that? Well, it's ours, but it is, but it isn't, So I was thinking this has got to be the North American Union currency. United States, Canada, Mexico, some kind of northern currency. And if you think about it, if what Cliff Heiss is getting about this, 100 to 1,000 times of more printed money than we were aware of, I mean, that's just the instant death of the dollar. So you got to have something else. You can't just go, oh, well, trust us, we'll do another one again. No one's going to trust us. But if you have a new currency that's a block of countries, in this case, the North American Union, kind of makes sense, So I'm going, yeah, I can see that happening, but you're going to have turmoil in between there where I could just see the things you've said, like, oh, you need some gold and silver, you need some crypto, you need some cash on hand, and the same thing I think is going to happen here, potentially with capital controls. Cash is going to be king, and everything's going to probably crash because, I mean, if the dollar does that, anything in dollars is just going to absolutely crash. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's why I saw silver go to 6 that one time, and maybe it's temporary or whatever it is. But at the same time, what if it's the new currency setting the price of like the real value of silver on the new currency? It's just $6. Not that silver's worthless anymore. It's
Do
like
you
everything gets
remember
reset.
going way back where I had a vision? And by the way, before I go on to that one, do you remember? Oh my God, it's got to be 20 years ago. The map of the Club of Rome.
Map of the Club of Rome.
Yeah, it was put out by them, and it had as Division One, it was Canada, United States, Mexico, and Greenland.
Oh, Greenland was on there.
That's right, the Club of Rome.
Hmm.
Okay, so people can look that up. That I mean, that goes way back. So, do you remember when I said I had a vision? I was looking in it, and it was a basket of currencies. I think I understand it now. And I said, and I looked in the basket. I still don't know what this means. The basket was made of straw and it was woven. Maybe it means that the countries are finally woven together. I don't know. I still don't know why it was in that. But, anyways, when I looked in the basket, I saw oil, I saw gold, I saw precious metals, I saw food. Okay. And I saw what I believe was American dollar. And I go, and I said to everyone, I said, it's strange. It looks like they made it with crayon. It's all multicolors. Do you remember me saying
Hmm.
that?
Hmm.
Okay. That's when I saw Swift on and it said rest RIP, rest in peace, and it was a headstone. So something happens to the Swift system. The thing is so old now, for Christ's sake, it's kind of useless, anyways, right? But sometimes, when you get psychic kicks in something, most of it's revealed to you at a little later time. So then I realized, I says, oh shit. I says, I know what's going on. I believe I'm right. We'll find out. Is the currency that I said was made in crayon. I was going over this when I told them what I think is occurring and why. Um, they said, well, yeah, they have the rainbow currency. And I said, they have a rainbow currency? And they said, yeah, I'll send you a photo of it. I went, and it's all multicolors. I went, okay. So here we go. The last thing to be done is going to be auditing the gold. All right. Because that's the last thing that you can manipulate for the value of things. All right. So you don't want to do it yet. Okay. So no matter what's in there, it's going to be evaluated much higher. It has to. It's going to be. All right. From $45 an ounce up to probably 5,000 to start, and then wherever it goes from there. All right. What I think is going to happen, and it's actually really, really wise, is remember I said I was looking in Germany and France and that. Okay. Well, I went into the central banks over there too. Okay. They're doing the same thing. So when Cliff says, oh, the USA Treasury, they're going to find out they printed 1,000 times, they're all doing it. Every stinking one of them. So it's not just America,
Mm.
all of them. All right. So here we go. The audit will happen. They'll make the adjustment. And then I believe Donald Trump's going to come out. Well, we have a problem. You know, all these dollars have been printed all around the world. So I'm going to ask you, Snippy, who has all these dollars that have been printed around the world? Name anybody.
Well, the Middle East has a lot of them.
Yeah.
So does
Drug
China.
cartels. Drug cartels.
Cartels too. Yeah.
Oh, I hear they don't take American Express, right?
Yep.
Okay. When all this comes out with the Treasury, says we have a problem here, and there's only one way to solve it, and this is going to stick it to everybody, the bad people. We're going to have to release a new dollar bill, and you have 30 days to bring your dollars into your local bank, and you're going to have to prove where you got them from. After 30 days, they're no good around the freaking world.
Mm-hmm.
So, in one, just like this, all those people that have all that cash, and I can't even comprehend what some of the black ops have and so on and so forth. It's gone. It's gone
Yep.
just by doing that one thing. And I believe that's why I saw it in the basket. All
Mm.
right. Now we're all going, well, America, look at what they've been doing. Everybody's been doing it. That's because the system is gone. It's gone around the world. And we're just going to see them do this. But at the same time, when this is all straightened out and we plug all the holes and then we do this, that all of a sudden we can start growing again. Okay. Now, the only sad part is that, you know, some of these people are going to push war.
Mm-hmm.
And I, I, I can't see anywhere around it. I always do believe in free will, and maybe with this information that we're saying tonight, it has a bad habit of getting out there and getting around.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Okay. And but now does that make a hell of a lot of sense to you?
It does. It also reminds me of something Cliff High's data had about people being stranded trying to get back home and no one will take the US dollar.
Right.
Can't convert them, can't change them. So they're like, how do I get home?
Yeah.
I'm in another country.
Right.
That would be that's a little different scenario, but that scenario makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
It could cause the same
Nobody.
exact problem.
And the other thing that's happening right now, every single person out there with means is getting out of the euro right now. All of them are getting out as quickly as they can. But remember what I said, the biggest run in cryptos will be when Europe collapses and people need to get their money out.
Put
They're
it
not going to
somewhere.
be able to get tangible gold. So what are they going to get in that they can still trade around?
Digital gold. Yep.
Boom. And
Crypto.
then the other thing that everybody needs to watch for, and I know it's going to happen. I've had this from a long time ago. that we're going to see certain stable coins being backed by gold, totally backed by gold. Okay. And maybe some would be backed by silver. Okay. So we're going to see a transition here. And I know that I always peek at people. I come on your site before I get ready to go live with you. I usually
Hmm.
do it for a half hour before, and I'll just see if somebody's got questions. And then I saw something about gold and silver. I really believe the true launch of what we're all waiting for as silver holders is I believe it's really gonna start taking off in the month of May and then going through the summertime. Where like right now we see a buck or two here. I
Yep.
believe that transition, that's how close we are. And then at the same time, I really believe that the cryptos will start doing its thing. But understand that's because everything's collapsing. So it's not a freaking beautiful world, you know. And a lot of you try to just do whatever you can to try to get yourself in a comfortable position. Um, the storms, I've told you all enough about it. I gave you the photo, right? Of when I was driving up, and they said, take pictures of the sun. I saw the planet, and they told me
Hmm.
everything that was going to happen. Here we are. So these storms, that, what was that? Bad rising, bad moon rising.
Bad Moon Rising.
Okay.
That
So
song.
it's going to get worse. This weather's not going to go away. It's going to get worse. It's going to get very unpredictable. And people that live next to rivers, I specify rivers, have a plan A and a plan B. Okay. And hope that you don't get that disturbing. But I'm very worried about moving water. Okay. But the thing is you can have a plan A and plan B, go, okay, well, if this happens and we go in this direction or whatever, don't have all your eggs in one basket. But the storms are going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Okay. And people could say I'm crazy or whatever. It is the crossing of the planets. Absolutely it is. That's why the sun's going ape shit. And we're rocking a little. We're doing this right now. So the system's just going to get worse. So in turn, what? The earthquakes are going to get worse. You could go back in time and go, yeah, well, this has happened for, yeah, there's no doubt, this track, but it's going to get worse. So we're dealing with the mother of everything. What was that show when the ship left Gloucester? The lobster guys got caught in that storm, but it was like all these storms hitting together. It was a great movie. Do you remember
Lobster
that show?
guys.
Yeah, they were lobster fishermen. No, no, they weren't lobster. They were going out for big fish.
Hmm.
On their They did lobster fishing. They're out of Gloucester.
The Perfect Storm.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is what we're coming into, and the object is for us to really batten down the hatches the best that we can. Okay, and be really wise about this. The storm will pass. It absolutely will. It's just when you're in the middle of the turbulence, you don't want to be out in it. If that makes sense. Yeah,
Oh yeah. It absolutely makes sense. That's why we're always talking about keep a food storage going, keep stuff, have stuff on hand, on deck, man. You never know. This is a perfect example of the Teslas. These sleeper cells get going hardcore. Like you're hearing about fires in other parts of the country now that you normally don't hear about them, and they're trying to keep it. Oh, it's just a accident. It's like no, I think we know better. Now it's you won't want to have to be out there getting stuff when it's really bad. You should have a stocked supply of stuff at your house so that if you need to stay put for a week or so, you're good. While things get back under control, because it ain't gonna last a while. I don't think some of this stuff, I think it'll be probably pretty quick. Things
right,
happening here and there, you could just kind of skate by and just take a step back for a little bit, and then okay, it's coast is clear. Go out and do what you need to do. But I remember having that dream about I had an organic orange in my hand, and it was like, wow, this is $10, one orange. And then I had the dream me and Evelyn were at the grocery store. And there was a big smorgasbord of steaks, different cuts and stuff. And there was a couple of bigger ones in the middle. And it's like we brought them up to the register because there was no price tag. You had to bring it up. And at that moment, here's the price. and they had to take the big ones out or something and double check those because they were bigger. And it's like, wow, and just like, well, I don't remember the price, but it was expensive, and we were like, well, like it's been a while since we had some meat. Like, we got the money, let's just do it. Like I know this sucks, but let's go ahead and buy it. And oh, okay, because we just didn't have meat for a while. So again, I ever since then I'm like, yeah, let's stock our freezers. Let's make sure we got meat and generators are ready to go and all that good stuff. And I remember I had the dream about bread, stocking a bunch of bread in the freezer too. No, and we have this egg problem. With the egg skyrocketing. Oh, it's just bird flu, whatever it is. Bottom line is it's just causing problems, and they're killing off all these animals for no reason. You know.
Well, no, it is for a reason.
Well, yeah, their reason. Yeah,
Yeah, they want to control all food because what come on now. What country would stop you from farming because they tell you cow farts are bad?
exactly.
I mean, okay, okay, just
And then the
little
people
volcanoes
believing
that
this garbage.
well the thing is so the countries that are doing it to you, then you got to understand you're being targeted, right, by the oligarchs of that to kill you. What do you want me to say? But hands down, bottom line, we're not gonna let you farm in your backyard.
Yeah, can't grow stuff. Oh, it's a
So
violation of the HOA. You can't have any gardening.
so
What?
yeah, you got to. But these are people, and I read people in the Netherlands. I read people even in Dubai, for Christ's sake. I'm all over the place. And when you hear of things like that, you got to understand, why would you stop your people from creating food for themselves? If anything, that would take the pressure off
Right.
of of anybody. So let's all be intelligent here. If this is going on, why?
Yep.
There is only one reason. So we all got to be very, very smart. And I mean, listen, some of you have uh, great politicians and people that actually care for their people. I mean, really, really do. Okay. Some of you are very, very lucky. And then some of us are being controlled by a very dark order of people. And when you just put common sense together, it really doesn't, you don't have to be a psychic or a scientist to figure this one out. I mean, it's in your face, and this is going to be the summer of fun. you know, but Joe, you still have that pickup truck that you got with Sheba, right?
No, I just sold it. Literally,
Joe,
I just sold it.
Jesus.
Gonzo.
Well, get yourself a shit box and drive around.
Yeah,
I really do believe you need to park your Tesla. I'm serious, and
yeah.
I you all are gonna start hearing all over the place that people are really gonna get hurt. Okay, you're a target. You are, hands down, bottom line. Okay, and it's a shame considering that it's those people that wanted everybody to have electric cars,
Hmm.
but it's their last ditch effort to create such a division in our country. Um, and that's what's happening now.
Well, I think
What?
somebody got 20 years for doing something at one of those Tesla places recently. So this new administration ain't playing around. So of course they ain't gonna stop them, but let
Well,
let that be a little lesson.
he got away with his life. All right. And some of the things that I've been seeing, okay, is that I saw demonstrations happening with political people doing it, purposely doing it. And then I saw the crowds reverse on them
Hmm.
and actually go after them. All right. As information comes out that there's going to be no places for these people to hide. They're digging their own grave by doing what they're doing. And what they've got to understand, yeah, you could turn a country with 10% of the people. You could, realistically, I feel they probably have about 18 to 20%, and 80% of the people out are more of the Normieville. And it's like, let me do my work, let me enjoy my
Leave me
weekends,
alone.
leave
Yeah.
me the hell alone, you know. Um, but that 20% that we watch what happened up in this, you know, in Seattle and places like that, got burned down. Um, expect this to go really crazy, except I think what's going to happen is, remember the vision I said with Donald Trump was in the Oval Office. And I've never seen the Oval Office except for, stuff that's been in movies or whatever, but I've never been there. But what I was getting through Spirit is there was more than one desk. Okay. And he wasn't making the decisions on his own. So I really believe that. And when I went into Congress, nobody was there. And they said there's no need of them at this time. I had the freaking feeling that what Dick Allgaier in a remote viewer, I think it was actually Dick
Hmm.
who drew that out, is what I was seeing from a different direction. All right. So I think it's martial law.
I think you're probably right.
And and when the martial law is put into place, I think that's when you will see the big politicians removed and taken away.
Did you see recently AOC? She came out to talk to her fan base in a little video, and all she did was stumble. She had the look of an oh shit look on her face. She couldn't even speak. She couldn't get any words out and was struggling. And it's like, what did she just find out? That they've lost their power? It's over, and now things are going to start happening because just the look on her face, she wouldn't say what it was. She wouldn't say anything. She's like, oh, I just thought I'd do a video and talk to you guys today. And yeah, well, I just can't even think straight right now. I really can't think straight right now. Um, yeah, and it's like, okay, say something. She couldn't. She couldn't do it. And I was like, hmm. Haven't had any dreams about her in particular, but I've definitely have some dreams about her friends, like Ilhan Omar and James Comey and John Brennan. These guys, Hillary Clinton, and not AOC, but
It is going to happen. But he's got to have these other things, got to have all the holes plugged. Everything's got to be done in a certain manner.
Mhm.
All right. To then say, all right, now it's time to do this. You can't do anything too early or it creates all types of other problems. So, and I know so many people, it's like, come on, my crypto's my crypto. Dude, it's going to happen.
Yeah, just relax.
All right. And I really do believe the silver will start to go up. I mean, really go up. I believe it's the month of May. I think it is. Okay. And maybe the end of April. Well, we can just go, oh, but please remember, all this other shit's gonna be happening at the same time. That's why you still gotta have your, you know, thank God I won't even be on here with Joe. You can't hear the generator, right, Joe?
No.
Yeah. If I didn't have a generator. Because we got blasted with an incredible ice storm. I had a 3 days ice storm up here, 3 days. Okay, taking down all the trees and everything. It was devastating up where I live. But again, this is weird things that are going to be occurring everywhere. And we just don't want to get caught off guard. That's why you gotta, you know, sometimes it's good to have some of the stock, water, or a little bit of food actually in your car.
Mm.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
up where you guys live, clothing, things that keep you warm, a
Oh, you
candle
have
even,
to.
little
Oh,
candle.
absolutely. Yeah, I throw a hat and gloves in my car all the time because you break down, you're screwed. You really are. You know, that's when they find me as a popsicle.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know, but so I'm just curious, Joe. Are you seeing people throw stuff up on the screen that that they wanted you and I to answer. Anything that's, you know, obviously not the silly shit, but
Yeah, let's take a look. Not that they heard us say that, they'll probably start posting some stuff. Let me scroll down
well,
here.
that's okay.
Yeah. What do you and what would you think is the gut punch event and when? I that guy Juan07 talked about. I personally still think it's the this plane crash thing or helicopter crash that I saw um is a big, event. I think that hasn't happened yet. That's my take as far as a
Well, I
gut
think your
punch
gut
goes.
punch happened when you fell from 3,000 feet. What do you think, huh? Got your ass
Yeah,
handed to you?
yes, I still can't wiggle that old girl. Uh,
Okay.
uh,
Know what? That you could do this is probably
yeah,
a pretty good thing.
yeah, that I can even be here talking to you right
Okay.
now.
You you
Honestly,
you shouldn't you should not be alive. And I
I
want to
know.
say something about the gut punch. If you've never fought in a ring before, um, it's never just one punch that'll take you down. Well, I shouldn't say that. You take one to the head in the right place, you're going down. But you're getting multiple gut punches. It's already started. Okay. It's already happening. The fight's on here. Okay. So I don't think we're looking at one thing. Depending on where you live in America, I think a lot of these people have got their gut punch already. What do you think? You know, I mean, so we're in the first round here, and blows are starting to happen. It's just gonna get a lot worse. Okay, but again, I'm with Joe. I think once we get rid of this timing, this speed bump of life here, and we get over it, that we'll still have a lot of things that we have to deal with. But I also believe that there'll be a lot of good things that will be released and positive things in that respect. But I think when it comes to monetary funds around the world, that this is going to last a little while, in some areas. So,
Yeah,
you
people
know,
are asking, is crypto going to crash too? And I'll answer myself saying I not only I still stand by that. Yes, it may be brief, it may be tied to the stuff in April, that we think may be coming. But I had a dream. It's been several months now, but I did have a dream where Bitcoin crashed heavy duty. I got the number. I post on my Patreon. It's way lower than it is right now. And why'd I get that dream? So I do think there'll be some turmoil, but again, I do think it'll just do one of these V-shaped maybe recoveries and just really start rocketing. Somebody had asked about the bee collapse. The bee stuff is back in the news.
the what?
The bees, bumblebees, they're dying off again, blah, blah, blah. So they're wondering
Oh,
if you had anything about that.
well, they've been dying off for
It
quite a
seems like this has
while.
been going for like decades now, you know?
But I all right. I really believe that I know the pesticides and this and that really did a lot of bad things. All right. But I really believe we're having a magnetic shift that's going on. And it's screwing up all animals that relocate or do what they do, um, even from the fowl, from birds that go from one area to the other, because I know our planet's doing this. This is what it's doing. It's tipping that does one of these things, and it's just doing this as it's getting pulled by. It's not one planet; it's quite a few planets. And how long can they hide that from us? I don't know. Maybe forever. I have no idea, but I don't think so. I think that we will see things that will make us go, oh, oh, oh. So that's what it is. But there's nothing we can do about it, except try to make it through these things. So I think all wildlife is going through the things that we're going through. Okay, and we
Right.
are. We're going deranged all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
You
Someone
know,
had
and
asked,
I think that goes back to Cliff High's. He said something. Oh my God, it was a long time ago. Something from the sky, or um,
oh, where the troops look up and they're like dropping
no,
their weapons, we're
something
out of here.
about brain sickness or something like that. Or I honestly, it's so long. I know he said something,
Strange
but
energies from space
what?
data set.
Yeah,
I don't know
okay.
what the thing was, but yeah.
But what I kept getting is it's the magnetic fields are doing some wonky stuff, and at the same times the energy is coming in from the sun that's being affected by these other planets that are coming through. That ain't gonna be able to stop it. Okay, and I really believe it's affecting everything, everything, everything. All right. You said there was somebody else who had a question.
Yeah. I've seen a bunch of people, April 12th and Trump, April 12th and Trump. I'm like, fill me in.
What's
What about it? And they're like, well, there's a Simpsons episode where Donald Trump died on April 12th, 2025, you know. And I go, oh, okay. And then someone else had said, astrology wise, it's also a high probability of death. And again, I'm going, well, it could be the old plane helicopter crash that, little wink wink deal.
I'll give you a true, honest answer to that. Okay. Come here on this channel on the 13th. Did you like that one? People are going, what the fuck?
Well,
It's a day later.
yeah. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
And I do not believe so.
Yeah. Anything on XLM? Just a regular, maybe just with the regular market, I guess. Maybe when the market
Yeah.
goes, it'll go.
I bought some more at 20 cents. There you have it. Do I need to say anything else?
Yep. It's one to hang on to.
I licked my ice cream heavy earlier. And by the
Hmm.
way, I have to pay some taxes on that, Joe. Damn it.
Yep.
Uh,
I actually had some good write-offs this year for the first time in a long time
I
for
swear.
last year. So I was like, oh, my taxes actually went real well this year finally.
If I just waited a couple weeks, say 2 weeks, it would have been
Sometimes you can't, man.
devastating.
You gotta lick it.
Well, that was it. I was panicking. I had too much. I went,
Yeah.
oh my God. So I did. But now I've been buying XLM back, but it has a new set. Okay. Obviously, I can't get it at my 9 cents anymore. That ain't
Hmm.
happening.
Yeah.
But when I see it dropping down and it's hitting right about 20 cents, I do. I've been loading up on that to try to get me back. And I have gotten it all back now. So on these dips is usually, I had a conversation with a very nice woman out in I think she lives in Washington, and she always has a bad habit, FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yep.
And every time she buys some XRP or something, that it drops after. I said, well, that's because you're FOMOing in. You set the seat up. Oh, I got to get it. Not right now. Okay. Let it settle down. And chances are it's going to come because we're in this up and down action. And then, like I told her, I said, I think she wanted to put in $30,000. I think that's what it was. And I said to her, listen, even when you buy in on a dip, don't drop the 30 grand on anything.
Yeah.
It, a small piece of that, put it in. And then watch it for a few days. See what it's doing, right? If it goes on a little more, go ahead, a little more, but gently. Right now, it's too crazy with all the political and the war and everything that's going on. I mean, we're ready to be in a civil war here, for goodness
Yeah.
gracious. So, be careful. Take your damn time on this stuff. Never go all in on
And
anything.
we'll perhaps end the show on one more question.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever covered this. We might have. The Iraqi dinar. Is there going to be
Uh,
some kind of good revaluation of that thing ultimately?
okay. That goes way back. I was looking into that. And actually, that was for a three-letter agency, believe it or not.
Hmm.
Every 3 weeks, they would contact me and I would talk to them. And one of them was, they didn't tell me what it was, but I realized I was in Iraq and I was looking at things. Do I believe it's going to be reevaluated? I do. And I think it'll be because of another country. I'm not sure who. Okay. But what I kept seeing was I can look out. I call it the window of time, whatever. and it looks like a double hung window, one you slide up.
Mhm.
And it gives me the time of things. So when I looked at that, um, the window was barely open. So when I see something like that, I go, huh, it looks like something's going to happen. It will probably be never reach the top of what a lot of people think.
Yeah.
But it seemed that you had a tiny window. Like you better have your ducks in a row. Okay. You better already know where you're going to exchange it. All right. And please don't get involved in, oh, send it to my website. We'll take
Yeah,
care
yeah.
of it and we'll
Yeah.
distribute it. Okay, then.
Hmm.
Please don't get caught up in bullshit like that.
Yeah, if you can go to the
Okay.
airport or something and do it there, that would be great, you know.
All right. So, do I think something's going to happen with some of these? I really do. And I think the Iraqi Dinar, it'll have something to do with the devastations that they've gone through. Okay. That maybe some country comes in there. Again, I don't believe it's the United States that begins to put money into their system. And so,
Mm.
may change some of that stuff. But I think it's a quick hit. So please have your ducks in a row and don't ever, oh, I was handpicked
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend it this way. Oh my God, it's such bullshit. Okay, it's such bullshit. First of all, if they wanted the money to be spent the right way, then they would spend it themselves, right? What the hell they need you for? Nothing. So don't get caught up in bullshit. All right. But put positives into it that, hey, what if you double your money? What if you triple it? That's
Yeah.
fantastic. But
Like
short
your ice
amount.
cream. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if
Yeah.
you guys want to schedule a reading with Woo Woo Dude or Julianne for that matter, woowoodude.com, as you see under his screen name right now. And you can go to his calendar and schedule yourself a nice reading with him or Julianne. If you feel like joining my Patreon, you could go to patreon.com/jsnip4. Check me out over there. Um,
And Joe had a reading today from Julianne.
I did
He just
actually,
told
yeah,
me behind the
yeah,
scenes he just
yeah,
had.
I did. As about noontime. So
She's pretty damn good, isn't she?
yeah, yeah. Woo do knows how to pick them, man. He found her. They're both very, very good, very good. So on that note, I'll try to do a little bit sooner videos with more recent videos with Woo Dude. I've just had some stuff going on that I kind of needed my attention, so I've been away for a little bit, so to speak. And don't hang up yet. I want to talk to you for a second after this, but we will catch you guys later. Hope you like the stream. Got your
And
Woo Dude fix.
everybody press the subscribe, please. Let's bring Joe back over 100,000. All right. Just remember, he lost that because he was giving all you people shit that nobody would touch.
Yeah,
All right. So let's all work together and bring him back because I'm going to tell you, you're going to need him over the next few months.
I might
Okay.
be out in full force.
Oh,
Trying
no.
to trying to keep it PG-13 for YouTube purposes, but nonetheless, make Joe great again.
No,
Somebody
absolutely.
said.
Joe, you know what? For years, through the highs and lows, when people are losing their shirts on cryptos and shit,
I'd come out and make
you
them all
would come
laugh.
out with the funniest shit and you'd make us all laugh. And
Yeah,
I actually remember when you were doing your first big trade and you're like, I don't even know if this is going to work. You're like, I go, how the fuck is he doing this shit? And it
yeah,
had to do with Veritasium.
yeah.
And we're all, come on, Joe, you can freaking
Like,
do
I did it. I
it.
did it.
It'll ding on my phone. Holy shit, I got it. And you,
Uh,
all of us were rooting for you, going, we love you.
yep. And I got this house that I'm sitting in right now. Down
That's right.
payment was for this house, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
But you touched so many hearts, and you don't even understand how you did it.
I know.
Okay,
It just came
you know,
natural. Like, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to tell everybody.
yeah, you're just a weird son of a bitch that we all
Yeah.
got attracted to you, and you made us smile. But at the same time,
Yeah.
you went where none of these other people would even think of going.
Yeah.
And in turn, because of they took this shit away from you.
Yeah.
So let's try to work and bring it all back. Because, like I said, trust me, you're gonna need to stay up to date and he's putting himself on the line for this. Well, okay. What were you
All
going to
right.
say, Joe?
Well, that's it for them. I was gonna stop the stream, and then I was gonna talk to you for a second.
Oh, you want to talk to me private? Make
Yeah,
sure
yeah, yeah.
that you shut the stream down
I
before you hold
yeah,
conversations with me.
I got you. We'll catch you guys later.
Take care, everybody, and much love.